All right, and we're live on YouTube. Greetings. It is Wednesday, June 3rd, and today I'm going deep. It's nearly impossible for me. It takes effort for me to not go deep. So pardon my delay. I was actually still in the middle of doing some research to be here with you guys today, and there's just so much. There's so much. So before I really start relaxing into this, I'm streaming on Facebook. Hello, Facebook. So talk to me, okay? Today, there's a woman who commented on Monday. Her name is Mashika Anderson Turner. And it's her comment that is partly inspiring the direction of some of this content here today, in addition to what I already know. So I'm Master NAIMA, and oh God, let me get here. It's really hot here in California today. I have the fan on because I know the AC is going to come on later today. It's supposed to be 104 here. So let me know where you are, with who you are. Listen. Okay, before there's so much to say. So I'll start with this. What I'm getting ready to go into is a training. It's going to do one thing. One is going to give you a 3-part process that I have come to find that works. It has worked for me. It has worked for my clients, and helping us to really clear out stuff on the inside so that we can create whatever the thing is, money, etc. Most of the time, clients who are working with me, it's money, because that's my thing. It's what I do. It's a thing that I've overcome, and I've teach my clients to overcome. And overcome is probably not the best word, but really come into healthy relationship with money. That's what it is. Come into healthy relationship with money, particularly with the high spiritual work that they are born to do. Now, obviously, this bleeds into other areas. You're an accountant looking to grow your business. You're fill in the blank. The work still applies. It's just that as a master, my work by nature is of the high spiritual realm. And so those are the people who are drawn to me. And so this is going to go into that 3-part process that you can use. Okay. And it's pretty heavy duty. And I'll talk more about that when I get there. And then number 2, in addressing what Mashika, let me make sure I get this right. What Mashika mentioned. So on Monday, I went live here on the business page and on YouTube, and she mentioned she's an accountant, and she said that my clients have turned me into a mother figure, right? So I'll get into the language of that alone, but then also the psychology of that, both on the part, I'll talk very little about the part on white people, and my focus is on melanin folk, because my care is the sovereignty. White folk can research their, deeply ingrained racism and all that, fine. My focus is on melanin folk coming into full sovereignty, their innate and original way of being, and taking it back, versus what so frequently the dominant conversation is, well, our history in slavery, as if that's the beginning of things for us, right? That is not the beginning. That is a piece. And are we making decisions based on a piece? And that's where what I'm going to talk about today, leadership from blood intelligence. This is one way to begin to restore and to lead as a melanin transformational leader. It's coming into blood intelligence. What does that even mean? I'll get there. So that's what this is. So if you're not about what I just described, you are invited to make your way gone. And also, I ask that you share this. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're not already a subscriber, then click that notification bell, and you will be notified when I go live, and you'll be notified when videos are uploaded. Okay, so you got to click that bell on YouTube, and you'll get the notifications. Okay. So there are new people who are finding me, and so I will continue to repeat myself as if we've never met before, even if you've been watching me for 8 years, 3 years, etc. I had a woman contact me yesterday from South Africa. I don't know her. She currently, anyway, I can't remember. So it's like she's from, I think, South Africa, but then she lives in the UK or something like that. And so, there's people like her who are just finding me and like, who is this person? So I'll sometimes be doing an introduction. So let's do that now. I'm Master NAIMA. And just to keep it, more business oriented, I've been in the transformation space since 2011. Prior to that, I built a fashion marketing company from the ground up and sold it in 4 years. Then came into the transformation space where, like so many of us, I struggled financially. Then when I learned about the reality of a relationship with money and that there are poor relationships with money and that there are healthy relationships with money, I went on a voyage of really learning, what is this with me? What is my relationship with money and how do I fix this so I stop having this feast or famine, have money, don't have money, have money, don't have money, and having it be, why was it seeming so hard for me to make money? And so I did that work, overcame that, and went from $7 in my account to multiple 6 figures in 2 years, and then crossed the 7-figure mark in under 4 years. And so I'm very clear that a healthy relationship with money is important for those of us who are at any level, whether you're doing high spiritual work or you're an accountant or you are a yoga instructor, whatever the work it is that you're doing. And so me talking about healthy relationship with money and having it be easy and creating more than enough is always going to be a part of the dialogue, a part of what I'm teaching and a part of how I'm serving. Because you cannot save the world if you are concerned about basics, just at a bare minimum, housing and food and clothing, right? Then to be well taken care of. So we get beyond survival, right? Beyond the basics. For you as a leader, as a sovereign being, as someone who has work that's really important to your heart, that you know is critical for you to do in your lifetime, beyond survival is important. So beyond survival is you being well taken care of, whatever that looks like for you. Weekly massages, being able to buy the herbs and the vitamins and the healthy foods and preparing the meals that your body, highly benefits from. That when you eat this certain type of way, you are firing at all cylinders. You have, if you're the over 40 bunch, you have less pain in the body. You can engage in physical fitness more because you have more energy, because you're less pain. And then I'll say this too, and this is one of the reasons why, and this is deep, so I'm just going to scratch the surface of it and then I'll go a little deeper. One of the reasons why melanin people are disproportionately affected by heart problems. I'm just going to focus there. I'm not going to even go into diabetes and, other health conditions that we're disproportionately affected by. Let's just focus on the heart for a minute, because I have been in this work of transformation for years. I really, it's so important that you listen to me. This is why it's so important that you listen to me. One, I was born a knower. Okay. I'm very dialed in. If you're a high spiritual person, I ask that you even pray for me. Pray for protection over me, right? Pray goodness and righteousness and protection over me. What I bring to you is of the highest spiritual order. So I knew years ago, there's a lot of things that I've known and I just didn't talk about publicly because I'm not sure your experience, but have you ever had something that you just knew? You knew it. You just knew. There was nobody talking about it. You had never read it in a book. There was no evidence. Like there wasn't anything that was like scientific about it, but you just knew it to be true. Right? And that's the thing about those of us, like even the woman who messaged me yesterday, the way she spoke let me know she's in high spiritual awareness. Okay. And what I knew some years ago was that a lot of the disproportionate ways that melanin people are affected in the world, okay, worldwide, is not just because of diet and the typical things that the medical industry associates with health problems. And I think some other people knew this too, but it's having a lived experience. First of all, inherited DNA, right? Let's just assume everyone knows that. This inherited DNA, right, of trauma. But then it's unlived joy and unlived, unfulfilled dreams of our ancestors in us. You know, it's this psychic, which I'm going to get into more when I go into the training today, this psychic, pervasive vileness of racism that we're all affected by. So when you're highly sensitive, you're a descendant of a royal class of the original people, of, you know, the founders of maths and sciences, etc. And you've inherited DNA from a traumatized group, and you're living within a construct that is by its very nature evil and vile. And you know things, but yet your body has a memory that it's unsafe to really share these, you know, these truths. That will cause all sorts of internal, you know, heart-based disruption. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So there's just so much to share. So I'll also say this. If you're watching me, I'll have to put this on YouTube, but if you're watching me on Facebook and you want to know more and you want to go deeper, meaning like be invited to private, deeper dives, because there's just certain things that just, are for a certain group of people, and you want that information, there's a link with this video for you to send me your email address, okay? So please share this video, okay? Share this video and send your email with the link with this video to go deeper with this, to get more information from me, things that I may or may not share out there. This is, I wonder how much, because I'm like this, and you know, positioning on video really matters. My YouTube, my Facebook people are, and I wonder if it's because of my posture. I'm gonna move this too. This is a glass table. I don't like, aesthetically, I don't like how that looks. So I'll be moving that. All right. So let me get into it. So first, let me get my notes open. So first, let's go into this 3-part process. So I'm going to be here. This level of deep that I'm going into today, the level of deep that I went into on Monday, that's not going to be a regular thing, particularly not on Facebook. Like I'll do videos and things like that, but like the level of depth that I'm getting ready to go into, like I'm going to be here for at least another 45 minutes. This is not going to be happening in this way. So when it is going to happen, it's going to happen to more frequently to a group of people who have expressed interest in going this route. And so my recommendation is that you send me your email with the link that's with this live that's on Facebook. All right. And if you're on YouTube, I will place the link here when I'm done. Okay. So what is this 3-part process? This 3-part process that I have used, still use it today, and my clients use to, sorry about that, that my clients use to get at these deeper truths, these deeper, so 2 things. One, where there's a stuckness, right? And like, why can't I, make this money? Why is this hard? Why, right? That, but then also getting at what Mashika, I hope I'm saying that right. Yes, Mashika. What Mashika said on Monday about her clients turning her into a mother figure was the language that she used. And she said that their full trust in her is overwhelming. Okay. So this 3-part process helps to illuminate a lot of what's going on at a deeper level. It'll reveal itself as I speak. So I actually have not named this process, but essentially what it is shadow alchemy. Okay. But I would like another name that I feel like really captures the outcome of this process. So this is what this process looks like. So first of all, there's a verbal process involved. Okay. Hi, Ro. There's a verbal process involved. So this verbal process, actually the written process starts first. But the thing about this is I'm going to give it to you, but then you can modify it based on your style. I'm a verbal person. I process verbally. Okay. Some people are writers. They process through writing. So even though I'm talking about verbal, this first part can be written or verbal, but in the third number 3 of this 3-part, that must be done verbal. Okay. But this first part, it would be verbal or written. So it's verbal shadow alchemy. So what you do is you give voice through your actual voice, or you write. I'm well, Ro. I invite your perspective, experience with what I'm sharing here today. So you look at, so for example, I'll use Mashika as an example here. So she said, my clients have turned me into a mother figure. So she said most of her clients are white, and she's an accountant, and that most of my clients have turned me into a mother figure. Okay. So let's just focus right there. Okay. So the first thing, ding, 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 that I hear, right? So I'm going to speak it right from an angle of my awareness, so that you can then start to see it in your own awareness with your own shadowy things. Okay. So first of all, the language of they turned me into a mother figure, right? Just listen to how that feels when I say that. Ro, I would love to hear what you have to say about this. I have clients and they turned me into a mother figure. How does that sound? Like, what is the feeling about that, right? My clients turned me into a mother figure. It's a disempowered, like she put herself there, right? Like they didn't do that. They only do what she allows, right? They put me in a motherly position, right? And then so let's dig into the deeper part here, right? In this process. So as I say this, like me, Master NAIMA saying this out loud, my clients turned me into a mother figure. Well, okay, is it true, right? Let me go back to my notes here. Is it true that my clients turned me into a mother figure? So you take your topic. So my clients typically use this. It's always around something with power. So it's like, I can't make the money right now because this, or people are going to think I'm a greedy bitch. I remember I had a client when Corona first hit. Well, I'm having a hard time marketing because people are going to be like, you greedy bitch, can't you see that we're suffering? right? Is it true that I don't see that they are suffering, and who is suffering? And like really asking, going back to the truth. Is this true? Is this true? Now that's a Byron Katie thing. So there's nothing original about that. Okay. That process of asking, is it true? Right. Whatever the idea that I'm yelling about at myself, like my clients are turning me into a mother figure. Is it true that my clients are turning me into a mother figure? Well, yes, let's play with this. Yes, it's true that they're turning me into a mother figure. How is it true that they're turning you into a mother figure? Well, because they think that I'm going to do this for them and they expect me to carry their burdens and they expect me. Okay, so why do they expect you to do those things? Why do they expect that? Well, because they're white and they're racist and they think they're superior and they think that black people are just here to work for them. Okay, so is it true that they think that? Well, they, like the particular clients you're talking about, well, I don't know it's true, but maybe it's true, right? Well, ask them, is it true? Do you think that you're superior and that it's my job to do these things that cause me to feel, right, like that I'm your mother? When we get down to it, the answer is no, it's not true because you haven't confirmed that it is true, right? So that zaps it right then and there, right? So then you go to what have you made this mean? So when you have identified something that is, okay, they have turned me into a mother figure. Okay, so what have you made this mean? First of all, how do you feel about it? Let me back it up. How do you feel about it? How do you feel? How do you feel about the fact that they turned you? Now, I didn't do this with Mashika, but I'm saying you can do this with your thing. How do you feel about the fact that your clients have turned you into, which by the way is just a poor way to even say it and look at it. It is like so disempowering, right? This is what you will transform in my circle. There's a link with the video for you to send me your email so you can come in closer. This language alone bothered me, okay? So, well, how does this make you feel? Well, it makes me feel like fill in the blank, right? It makes me feel like, they see me as the help. It makes me feel like, right? All those things. Okay, all right. So then you have the answer to that, right? You've written it down. Number 3. So what have you made this mean? You got to write that down. So number 1 is you verbalize or write out the thing. So the thing in this example is my white clients have turned me into a mother figure. Number 2, you can ask yourself, is that true that you're a mother figure or is it not, right? Once you get the answer to that, how do you feel about it? That's number 2. How do you feel about this, right? Then you tell your feelings, right? Number 3, what have you made this mean? So if I have decided in my own mind through a series of disempowered thoughts and stories that my clients have made me a mother figure, they see me as the help. So what have I made this mean now? What have I made this story mean that I'm telling to myself? Well, I've made it mean that I really am inferior, and I've made it mean that I am right to just play the mother role, and I'm not right, whatever the meaning is. You see where I'm going with this, right? This is shadow alchemy. This is how you start to alchemize these thoughts, because when you do this process and you realize, wow, I've made it mean this. And by the way, one part that I missed telling is that this process works best when you do it with an actual person. A person who has the capacity to sit with you as you verbally process, mentally and verbally process. This works best that way. If you don't have that person, you do it yourself, all right? Then, here's the 4th step. You verbally truth tell. This is so important right here. This is why it's so important to do this part verbally if you've done all the other parts with just text. You verbally, by the way, for those of you who have just joined, I'm going through a 4-part shadow alchemy process to uncover hidden truths and so when you alchemize these shadowy aspects of yourself, you get access to the deeper generative power that allows you to create in whatever department you want to create, and whether it's money, fill in the blank, all right? Maybe energy, creativity, to reduce lethargy and just like tiredness, right? So here's the fourth very important part. When I say final, I mean like it's over. Not over, because more comes out of this naturally, but as far as this like actual steps, okay? You verbally truth tell while feeling for your honest tone striking the right spot that holds the power hostage. This is very powerful. Okay, now let me break this down. Let me say it again. You verbally truth tell, feeling for the honest tone that strikes the right spot that holds your power hostage. Now, this is pretty mind-blowing, okay? So I imagine you know about mantras and affirmations and those things, right? And what those are meant to do is to repetition. The subconscious is transformed through repetition, right? Saying the same thing over and over with emotion and pressing it into the subconscious mind, right? And I got a lot to cover. And so everything that's going on in our system, the ways that we act out, these default, right? And this is tied to what I'm going to go into deeply with Mashika. These default ways that we think and act, right? Even the way our inherited ways get triggered when something happens with a white person, like Mashika's like, they're turning me into a mother figure. That's a very special dynamic between Black women and white people, where there's this old, way that we've inherited because many of our ancestors were the mother figure, right? We breastfed and we nurtured and we cleaned and we cared for. So whenever there's something that happens with a white person, it cannot be that at all, but because we carry this, it triggers that. So this verbally striking the tone, this fourth step right here that I'm talking about, this verbally striking the tone hits very precisely. And you've hit it because you'll feel some kind of shiver, some kind of like your brain will ping and there'll be like oh my God, you'll feel sensation in your body, and you got to say it because the saying it's like there's a vocal tonation to it. And it hits it with that sound, like people who use sound healing, it's like to hit spaces in the body that wake it up, that solvent is the word that was coming to mind, that, like solves things. And yeah. So truth telling goes like this, right? In this example with Mashika. Well, what's the truth here? What's the truth about this situation? So the truth is she has sovereign power and ability to create whatever dynamic with her clients that she desires to create. The truth is nobody turns her into anything. No one has the power or authority to turn her into anything. She chooses who she is. So to speak that, it's not just an affirmation that I am a powerful being this is the flaw with typical affirmation. It's just saying something over and over with feeling it, right? That's more from the outside in. This power is sovereign from the inside out. And when you strike it, there's a high and low connection. Low meaning low, hitting the parts within yourself, and high meaning the communication with the cosmos. So it would be something like this. This is a very personal experience, by the way. I'm just giving an example of what this could look like. But this is very personal and requires that you get intimate with everything that you've already outlined and what you've said based on the 3 steps so far. And your feeling around whatever the issue is that you have already started to verbally alchemize, all right? So it could be something like, The truth here is, and it's intimate, the truth here is I have absolute, and absolute, and then it's like, whoa, right? And language is so important. The language is so important. The right language. Okay, so I have to teach on language. Not have to. I will be teaching on language. The right language. Language. I have absolute, total, and final say over my position in life. Me and only me. You gotta feel this. Like, you gotta look for the words. Don't be so quick to just talk. Look for the words. Call for the words. Call for the right words. Because you're looking to strike that tone. Because when you strike it, it'll be like the unleashing of power. It'll be like, it'll be like that. And you'll say it, and when you say it, you know it's right for you. You know it's right for you. And it's, I have ultimate control over my relationship. What is right in this scenario is for me to, right? And so this is personal. Like, I'm just digging into this as I imagine what it would be like if I was in Mashika's shoes. The language, that's another benefit of, even on YouTube, just absorbing my language, right? This is over time coming to understand right language. This language of, they made me feel. Do you recognize how disempowered that is? Thinking of some other disempowered language. Don't do that to me. Like, any language that takes power out of your hands. And when you start to practice this, I'm telling you, I am going to do something around language much more deeply. It's so critical. And here, this, you just watched this happen, right? In these last 3 minutes, you just watched it happen. You watched me give you an example of language. And as I was getting into the intimacy of the language, it came to me that teaching on language is important. I've never taught on language exclusively. You see what I mean by, you get into this and the language and the action for you reveals itself. Then there's everything that happens after you finish this 4-part process. All right, so let me say this again and then I'm going to move on. Woo! This is a lot. And I feel like a constricted. Where are people? Where are people? Jesus Christ. I've had people coming and going on Facebook. This is so important. This is so important. What is the way? What is the way to get more of the right people? Not just, I don't want a bunch of people here who don't belong here, but the right people to come and take this in and act on it. I've had one person comment. Yesterday I had so many people, so many comments. Monday. So let me go into this 4 parts. So there's verbal or written of the thing, whatever the thing is that is bothering you, that you feel conflicted by, that you feel angry or bothered by. That's the thing. So you verbalize it or you write it out. So I use the example of, my clients have turned me into a mother figure. Okay, that's 1. Number 2, okay, so how do you feel about it? Who's there? For that one person who's there, say hi. Hi, Kim Muse. Who else? Who else is there? Let me know who's there. Let me know your thoughts on what it is that I'm sharing. I know sometimes, even though it's only showing X number of people, there are actually more people watching. So let me know, questions about this, thoughts about this, because it really helps like deepen it and open it up more. Like it happened with Mashika on Monday. Okay, so the four part process. Oh, the garbage people. The four-part process. So I said verbal shadow alchemy or write it down, the thing. How do you feel about this thing? Number 3 is what have you made this mean? Right? Go back and watch the replay. It's really good. What have you made this mean? And number 4, verbal. So number 4, you must verbalize it. And this is an intimate experience where you go within yourself. And that's why it's so important that the person who you're doing this with has the capacity to be with you. And you don't feel like you got to shut down in their presence. You don't feel like, we're doing this with them. Okay? So you verbally truth tell, feeling for striking the right tone, that when you strike it, you know it. And how you know it is you feel sensation in your body. You feel like an opening. There's like a revelation. Your brain sometimes, like when I do this, sometimes literally I'll get like tingles all over my brain. And it's just like a zing kind of experience. Okay. So that's that. And you can apply that to this money thing. You can apply it to anywhere you feel lethargy. I find that this is very helpful where you feel heavy and lethargy. This is really good, okay? And sometimes you'll have to do it again and again. Well, you're new, right? So you're learning to ride a bike, so you're going to have to practice. So now let me go into this. Wow. Whew. I drank all my water and I didn't even feel it before I got here, so I'm good though. So now I'm going to go into the deeper hidden constructs of what Mashika said about her white clients turning her into a mother figure and her feeling overwhelmed by their full trust. That's what she said, that she feels overwhelmed by their full trust. All right. So now there's moving on now. I'm moving on from the 4-step process that I just shared with you. I could have ended the video right there, actually. But I'm just so eager to get this out. So I have some notes here, actually. That's been a part of my research. So the reason why I say what I said in the beginning of this video about being a knower is a lot of the research that I'm doing is to be able to take evidence, historical evidence. Thank you. Historical evidence and already written material to help make my point. Is that true, NAIMA? It's part true. The other truth is, I just actually did this in person, in live right now, right? What I just taught you to do, I just did it right. Is that true? It's part true. The other truth of it is, I'm unsure how much, actually I do know. Okay, enough. I will do that when it has been proven outside of me that actually is necessary. Because what I actually think, unfiltered, is that when you hear me speak it, you know it's true. When I say you, I mean the people who it's for. So if you hear it and you're like, oh, whatever, maybe, then it's not for you. And if it is for you and you're thinking that, maybe it's just not now. So let me say this. So it's almost like I can even squash the research that I've already done. Because it's just doing like what you do in college, where you have a point of view and you just go find a bunch of data to support your point of view. That's what it comes down to, right? And your A or B grade is based on you convincingly selling your position based on your research. That's what it comes down to. However, a lot of what I know is not in a book. I'm going to leave that right there. All right, so let me go to this. So they turn me, my clients are turning me into a mother figure. Okay. I already started to touch on this when I talked about the 4-part process of what each of us has inherited, right? So for melanin folk, there's inheriting from our ancestors this we're the help. And it's also just trickled down into the consciousness, into the thinking of melanin folk that we are the ones to clean things, fix things, make things good and better for the master, right? And white people have inherited, right, their descendants, slave owners, and not even just slave owners, but the ones who actually concurred with those ways, and their descendants, right, who are alive today, who have the you fix it, black people fix it, black people clean it, black people build it, right? And it is unspoken and unhidden in many of us, right? And then when a situation comes that brings us together, in this instance for Mashika, as her being an accountant and having a majority white client base, and there could be a multitude of scenarios that if we just look at it with the facts itself, it's nothing of what she says it is, but the deeper things in her can make her see it as that, right? So now that's deep if you even just catch what I just, right? And the same things goes for white people, right? Seeing things through a lens of whiteness versus seeing things through a lens of truth, okay? And so this is the deeper thing here, right? There's a book, Straight No Chaser. I can't remember the woman's name, but if you look it up, she's a black woman. It's called Straight No Chaser. She talks about, as a black person, we're constantly living with what she calls the wonder effect, right? Something happened somewhere that if you look at it through the lens of race, you could see that this is a racist thing. And so you and your friend leave that restaurant or you leave that event and you get in the car and you'd be like, I wonder if they did that because they're racist. I wonder if they did that because we're black, right? That's what she calls the wonder effect. I wonder. So it can be something that has nothing to do with race, or it could be something that has everything to do with race. And still it's looked at through the lens of race. And so in this instance with Mashika and clients turning her into a parent figure, how much, I want you to look at yourself, not even just within the context of race. I'm talking about in this context because she brought it up, but we can expand this and look at this in any context. Somebody blaming you for something. Hey there, to those of you who have just joined me, say hi. Because I want to know who's here, right? And then even engaging with this content, that was so much fun on Monday. Open that up, right? Somebody blames you for something, right? Or you blame somebody else for something, right? How much of that is based on the limited, disempowered lens that you're looking through? Okay, my clients are turning me into a mother figure. Well, in order for that to happen, you have to agree to be a mother figure, right? You have to, on some level, say, yeah, and I don't like it, right? Because for you to not like it, it has to exist for you to not like it. It has to be a thing. It has to be real to you for you to say, to even say that they turned me into a mother figure, to even say it, to even acknowledge it as that, right? Versus her noticing their whiteness coming out. So this is a whole another level of power and depth that I'm going into now. Noticing their whiteness playing out because she recognizes who she is and she recognizes who they are, not even who they are, but the lens through which they're operating. Oh my God. the lens through which they're operating. I have a great example. This morning I was on Instagram. Hey, Kelly, thank you for the heart. Thank you for sharing my posts. Thank you for sharing this video. Please, you guys share this video. It's going to be here and it's important for people to see. I was on Instagram and a woman named Andrea Owens, I think, she wrote a book. We've known each other for years, lost contact, but still pay attention to her. And I can't remember what she said, but she's been very vigilant on Instagram. I've just been noticing over the last few days about checking white women. And she's a white woman who's been doing her own studying about her own internalized racist ways and reading up and studying and promoting anti-racist educators, etc. And another white woman came on her post and was like saying white things, that white lens, right? And Andrea was like, check your, and these are two white women going at it, right? Andrea's like, check your white privilege. And I love it, right? When you ever watch two white women or, two white people going down in the comments, and like one white woman is like, check your privilege. And then she lays it down. Like you can tell she's been studying and she know what the fuck she talking about, right? And she's being vigilant. So Andrea did that, right? And then here goes the white woman. Oh, she pulled that white thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. And Andrea called it. I said, yes, look at this warrior out here. So the white woman was like, oh, me? Racist? I will have you know that I have what? You know how they do. I have a black son, right? And South Africa this, and I did that, and right? And Andrea says to her, girl, she handled this clean. Andrea said to her, I'm sure you, whatever she said, politely, right? And I know how white people use their black child as what? Tokenism. To make it appear that they're a good white person and to prove that they're not racist, when indeed it is highly possible and most likely true that even with your black son and your black husband and your black friend, that you still are indeed racist. And she laid it out, girl. A white woman laid it out. You hear me? And when I tell you that white woman cleaned up her language, she cleaned it up because she was exactly using that white lens to wield her false power. And another white woman called her out. So what Mashika could have done with these white clients who probably were wielding that white lens of black people are here to help me, to be my mama, to breastfeed my baby, to clean up my mess, she could have said, it appears to me, she could have said this to her client, it appears to me that you are looking to me to do X, Y, and Z. Per our contract, this is what I will be doing, and this is what our relationship will look like. Now, she may not say it with the tone and the way that I'm doing this here, but she could say the exact same thing with a very clear, stern, and professional voice to put them white folks right in their place. Do you understand what I'm saying? You understand? So this is deeper power here, okay? So when I say deep, I mean high, right? Because you can only go as high to the depths. You can only go as high as the depths that you are willing to go. You hear me? You can only go as high as the depths that you are willing to go. Because there's a full in your humanity. There's a fullness in your power. Hey, YouTube, talk to me. I see my viewers have grown by 2 people. Talk to me. Share this video. Share this video. This is deep, right? This is powerful. Share this video, please. It is not enough for just you to see it. It is not enough for just you to see it. It must be shared. And so the deeper truth here, and Mashika, I hope you watch this in the replay. The deeper truth here is that Mashika clearly has that thing that so many Black people have inherited, that we are meant to clean up white folks' mess and fix things and build things and make it all good and right for white people, right? And that she is acting from that inheritance. You see, when she says, my clients have turned me into a mother figure, she's acting from that versus acting from the deeper and higher truth that nobody has authority to turn her into anything. What? That she has the ultimate, total, and final say in who she is and her sovereignty. You catch that? Please share this video. On YouTube right now, click the share button. It's so important to me that more of us see this. It's so important that more of us. So that's the deeper thing. Then, in the part that she said about their total trust in me, and I'm getting ready to wrap up here. Their total trust in me overwhelms me. So I look at this from, thank you for sharing, Aaliyah. So I look at this from one, the honor in being completely trusted by a client. This is my personal experience. I feel deeply honored with clients fully trusting me. I remember I put together a program for clients to come work with me in Milan, Italy. And I hadn't started marketing it yet to the public. And I had a session with a client. And during the session, I just casually, wasn't even, intending to sell it yet, because I had just come up with the idea and I was excited, but I hadn't, put pen to paper and, started marketing, etc. And I just mentioned to her the idea and how I see it, etc. She was like, yeah, I'm going to sign up for that. Let me sign up for that. And she paid right then and there, $5,000. Now, given we were already in a client relationship, but that full trust, that with no details about it, not even clear on dates, just pay in full right there to come work with me in Italy. That is an honorable position, right? Now, for a woman, look at this deeper, right? Really look at this, where this stuff comes from, right? She's already said, my clients have turned me into a mother figure, right? So that tells me already that she's operating in this relationship with these white people from a disempowered position. That's what that's telling me, right? And this is what you telling yourself that too. When you were looking at a dynamic between you and anybody. Right now, I'm just using this construct of Black-white relationships, or, with clients and all relationships between Black people and white people, or any color. This goes way further than that. My goal is to get you to sovereignty, full power. And whoever of you is watching me and you have it in your heart to help me do this work in the world, because it's going to take more than me, please be in contact with me. So she's already told me that she's operating from a disempowered place by saying they've turned me into a mother figure. So when she says, I'm overwhelmed by their full trust, there's a part of her that's like, do I even deserve their full trust? Because I'm in a disempowered position here. Should they even be giving me their full trust? It's overwhelming. So I'm saying this from a disempowered place, as if I'm Mashika, right? It's overwhelming for me to be fully trusted by somebody whose trust I don't fully deserve. You see that? Because I'm the help. I'm the mother figure. And they're fully trusting me, the inferior help. And that's overwhelming. Versus, before I go on, I want you to really get that way of thinking, that lens of, so look at that in everything that you're analyzing, whether you're protesting, whether you're checking white folk. I see a lot of my network on social media, black and white, is checking white folk all day. Checking them, checking. It's like warriors all over the internet, right? Checking white folks all over the place. Layla Assad, let me give credit right now. Actually, I meant to do this at the beginning of the video. Layla Assad. Thank you, Aaliyah. Layla Assad, she wrote the book called White Supremacy and Me. You guys have probably already heard it because, man, her fame has grown exponentially in the last week because of what's going on right now. She wrote a book called White Supremacy and Me. And if you go to her Instagram, Layla Assad, Layla, Layla, Assad, I think it's Asaad, Layla Assad. And I read a post over the weekend where basically she was just checking white people because white people don't know that, right? Good white people don't know that they're racist. So what she did was she did a screenshot of all these messages in her inbox from white people demanding her attention, demanding they answer her that she answers their questions. You see that white lens? Like, your job is to help me. Answer my questions. I'm stranded. I'm stressed. I'm panicked. Help me. Hold my hand. Teach me. Give me the tools. Give me the right. So she in the post. It's like four images in one post, and the front of it says, "Get out of our DMs," and it's like, "Get out of our DMs, get 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 out of our DMs." And the point there was, you operating from sovereignty checks everybody. In this context, I'm talking about white, but it checks everybody. So people either get into their own sovereignty to deal with you, which is exactly how you want it, because it is so nurturing and robust and valuable when everybody involved is sovereign. And the ones who are not, they can go and stay right on down there and hang out in no man's land or rise, right? And so go check out that book if you have been looking for resources, whether for yourself or you like to share with other people. That book by Layla Assad is a wonderful book from what I've heard. And I've read, she has screenshot some of the pages, open the book, so you can see. And just based on the little that I've read that way, right? And then plus I've seen her in interviews, because Layla Assad has been around she's been doing this since like 2017. So I remember in like 2018 watching her talk about this. And so I've been in tune with her over the years. But like I said, her fame has really increased since the George Floyd situation. So go check her out. And so in closing, does anybody have anything they'd like to ask me or anything they'd like to say? Aaliyah, yes, that. They don't know. They need a lot of help. Yeah. And for years, particularly over the last, because I'm telling you, is it just me, or is it really like over the last 4 years, social media has become all about showing us what's happening in the race world with cops and, so even I, as a Black person, has been exposed to race in a way that I wasn't before social media or media started showing all the cops killing Black men, right? And so I, for years, have been like, how do white people not get racism? Like, how? I just don't, like, what world do you live on? And then it's like, this explains, like, I've always heard Black people be like, white people live in this world, we live in the real world. Like, white people live in a whole other world. And it's like, so now what's happening is with all these white people, you guys, my feed is flooded with all people. I'm in the transformation space. So I'm seeing all the transformation people, all of the voices on Instagram and Facebook. They're black, white. I'm just like, and I'm seeing so many white people who are saying that they're listening, they're trying to understand. Then there was a group that was created, oh my God, specifically for white people who are looking to undo their racism. And I found out about it like Friday. So it's probably like 15,000 people there. But at the time, there was like 5,000 people in there. And the group just got created like maybe 2 days before that. So it was growing fast. And the white people were literally sharing their stories in there about, one white woman was talking about her and her mom was watching it on TV, and her mom is a racist. So she was telling us everything her mom was saying. And she said every time she questioned her mom about the thought, the mom had another racist thought. And she was asking us, how do I talk to my mom? This is a diverse group, mostly white people. She's asking people, how do I talk to my mom? How do I do this? She's racist. I don't know how to do this. And just looking at comments like hers or the questions, the number of white people who really don't get it. So, and they're trying to get it. They're learning. They're talking about it publicly, which that's a big deal, right? And I'm not interested in educating white people. There are a lot of people who are doing that, and I'm grateful for them. Layla Assad and all the people like her. Tiffany Largie, she's one of my black Facebook friends. She's a 7-figure coach. She's been checking the hell out of white leaders. She has been on Tony Robbins' ass. She's been on Brian Runce's ass. She went to town on Marie Forleo. I mean, like her and other people like her who really feel called to get in white leaders' faces and hold them accountable. I don't feel called to that. What I feel called to do is to restore melanin transformational leaders to their original right place. Okay? Come into healthy relationship with who they are and money, and bringing that out into the marketplace. Period. That's what lights me up. And I will most certainly support and shout out the Tiffany Largies and the Layla Assads. And I will make sure I direct my attention where my heart feels called. Okay? Hey, Takia. So, the trust matter. So all of these I could go deeper into, right? But I've been here an hour already. Yeah, I've been here an hour already. So I'll leave it for now. I will repeat that there's so much more, my God, like the language. I've already about the language that I'm going to be teaching on. I'm going to put the link here. If you're not already on my email list, there's a link with the video on Facebook to send me your email, because I'm going to be, if you really recognize that speaking highly in all of your dealings, not just in business, all your dealings with the lover, husband in your life, with your children, with your clients, with your colleagues, your peers, and you recognize that high language, restoring the way that you speak, is critical to your success and your certainty. Send me your email with the link with this video, okay? Elise said, I agree. Hold on one second, I don't feel the need to educate at all, because frankly, they already know. As part of survival, and I have a theory on that. I would love to hear your theory. I'm more interested in what we can do for ourselves, not just now, long term. Yes! That's exactly what I'm talking about, long term. Because I know right now this is hot and up, but this will be over. And what will we be doing once this is over? Who will we be once this is over? And white folks can do what they do, but what's happening with these bank accounts? What's happening with melanin folks' bank accounts? And us transforming the transformation industry that's currently dominated by white people who are making tons of money. Many who we found in this situation are unwilling and unable to deal with race relations and their black clients' pain when shit like this happens, because it will happen again. Okay? So Aaliyah, thank you for being here and engaging. Thank you for sharing. It matters so much. I'm going to figure out a way to get more of the right people here and engaged and sharing. Aaliyah, if you have ideas about that, I'd love to hear it. And so that's it for now. I'm going to be going live again very soon. When that is, I'm not sure, but very soon. Okay? Lots of love. Thank you so much.